topic, right? Many of you might be Scrum Master for many years, but you still choose to attend this session. And that's wonderful. Now, this is a very, very vast topic. So let's see what we can cover in 40 minutes and then some time for question answers. But then there are so many scenarios in this one. So let's see. We'll go ahead and then see what I have to share. And why I'm here? I'm here because I love to share what I know, which I believe can help others. You can always connect me on LinkedIn or through Vijay, and I'm always available for a conversation. So, what is the plan for today? This is what I plan to cover. One most important point to consider when you join an organization. And before you start, right, what are the three key things you should do just after the joining as a Scrum Master? What areas to focus initially? How do you build the trust with the team? And then you already have, see, I have considered right now that the team is already there. Whether they are following Scrum or they're not following is irrespective, but then there will be some historical data will be available to you. If there are no data, then perfectly fine, right? You will start from the scratch. That's something you will get something, a clean slate, right? You can do wonders on this one. And how do you show measurable progress? So, interesting topic for today's session. Bit about myself. I think many of you already know me. I'm passionate about helping Scrum Master bridge the gap between theory and practice, or theory and practical, so that they excel in their role. Right? I help them so that deliver more value and the quality delivery, so that they get more money. They have a sense of pride and sense of satisfaction. That's what a little bit about myself. Apart from work, I'm very much interested in learning Sanskrit. In the LinkedIn, you might have seen like completed around a couple of certifications as well. So we'll see how do we bridge the gap between, or not a bridge, how do we link the literature or the material we have available in our culture with what we do in our professional life. So wait for that. So first thing first, right? You have to consider which company are you working for. So what I mean to say, this is the one most important thing, right? I still remember in one of the company where I was working, and then a new Scrum Master joined. And I already had joined, so I took him for introduction to the managers. The managers are there, right? Then there will be agile coach as well, and then the Scrum Masters as well. And at that time, it was a cubicle culture. So we went to his cabin, and then I introduced, this is the new Scrum Master. You are having 3 teams. So now onwards, he is the one who will be handling those teams. And the manager said, yeah, good, good, good. He has joined. I was tired of setting up the meeting invites and other stuff. And who? If that is what you hire Scrum Masters, then probably you are in a wrong company. I don't mean to say that whenever you join a company, it will be perfect. No, that might not be possible, and mostly it will not be possible. But at least the managers, the stakeholders should know that why you have been hired. What is the purpose? It is the Scrum. They understand the benefits of Scrum, and that's what they have been hired. If that is the culture or that is the mindset, probably it's the wrong company to join, or probably wrong team to join. And you know what? In 4 months, the person resigned. Just 4 months. So it says that if you are not getting the role for which you have been hired for, this is the first thing you have to look after. And second thing is, you should love what you are doing. Like I was sharing initially, I think today is a golden day for India in Olympics. They won. But do you think that, okay, if you tell Neeraj Chopra that, okay, you have to practice for 5 hours, 6 hours every day, he will be happy to do? Yeah. So you can earn more, but remain not happy with what you are doing. But if you are happy with what you do, or if you love what you are doing, then automatically you will earn more. So first thing first, you have to make sure the role which you are going to perform in an organization or in company, it is being valued. They understand the role. It might be possible that they're not following the Scrum or they are following waterfall way of working, but then you have the opportunity to set everything correct. But if the mindset is not there, and you're not going to get help as well. So two things. One is you decide where you are going, and then the role is appropriate for you. And second thing, you should be loving your what you do. Then only it will make the very good impact. Okay, once you just started, right, what you should be doing. So first thing you should be doing is why you have been hired. That you have to get the answer to. Yeah, for a Scrum Master role, that's a very straightforward answer, right? You have a job description based on what you have been hired, and then couple of panels, and then few interviews have been conducted, and then that's based on the interview. Probably you can guess, right, why you have been hired. But the people who took your interview might not be working with you in your team, might not be your managers as well, right? So what I would expect or I will do is you list down all the activities which you should be doing. So I did that one when I was in another organization. I listed down. So I talked to few people. I understood that what it is, and then what I did, I listed down all the activities, key activities. Most of them will be certainly as a Scrum Master, how I can help, what I should be focusing on. And with that list, I set up a one-on-one with my manager and just told him that, okay, let's discuss. Can you tell me what are my key result areas? What are the activities which will deliver maximum value to team, department, customer, and organization? That's what I should be focusing on. And that helps in multiple ways. In a way, you will know, right, that how you will be evaluated. Many a times, you don't know. Most of the time, it will be subjective. But this gives you an opportunity to understand what would be your evaluation criteria. And upfront, you know it, right? You cannot even later on say that I don't know, I was not aware. It's already there. And then those items might be very difficult to work on, but those are the ones which will deliver the highest value and which manager will focus on. At least we can try out, we can do different experiments and go with. So first thing, we understand that I have been hired as a Scrum Master, but why they are paying me? What things, top 3 things if I deliver, which will deliver the maximum value, right? And at the same time, you have to understand, right, that what is the purpose of following Scrum? Because other people are doing, the competitor is doing, or just they want to doing Agile, because so many people have done, so we also do it. It is happening right now. What is the goal of Agile transformation or implementing Scrum? Yeah, we are doing Agile. That's what we want to showcase. But remember, Scrum is not the goal, right? Scrum is means to achieve your goal. So you have to work and then identify what is the goal of implementing Scrum here. And that will deliver the maximum value. So you have to work initially, just started, and then you have to do this one. Yeah, because this one is very critical. Probably team might be working on it for few sprints, but they might not be knowing that why we are doing what we are doing. But when you start working with the team, then you know that why we are doing what we are doing, and you can convey them, and then we can remain on focus. And the third one, certainly I would put it as a good introduction from manager. So there are multiple ways, right? You just go to the team, mingle, and they say, okay, I have joined something. Or you ask manager to introduce you and other stuff. But when you do the first and second step, right, And then you ask your manager, this is what I want you to communicate to uh, the team members for which I'm a Scrum Master. That will have a completely different perspective to all the team members. Otherwise, what happens, normally the introductions, what will happen? They will talk about so many things. Now we have a new Scrum Masters. So all our production defects will reduce to zero. All our development environment, all environment issues will be fixed. They will talk about the impediments which were not resolved in last 12 months, and manager will say, okay, all the impediments will be resolved. We have now Scrum Master who is a master of Scrum and will complete everything. And like when your expression would be when manager introduce you like this, oh my God, I'm not. So what I want you to do, or we should be doing, is talk to your manager, understand the key result areas, why we are following Scrum. And the third thing, get a good introduction from your manager. That certainly would work out well. Now you just started, right? So what you will be focusing on first sprint, couple of weeks, right? So if team is already following Scrum, then certainly you also would like to understand what is the understanding of team on Scrum. Many people have something like responding to change, right? So how frequently? Every time. It's an iterative process. So when the sprint starts, and then we give some UI wireframe, and it will evolve. It will take 3, 4, 5 days and other stuff, and then it will be finalized. That is what the iterative way of working some people think about. Or some will have a time boxing, right? Okay, we have 1 hour, 2 hours, a time box. So that's the maximum time you put in for any events and other stuff. But they have a different understanding of Scrum. Some will follow waterfall in the Scrum. Recently also I received one request from a couple of Scrum Masters. They said, no, I think 2 weeks per sprint is not enough. Can we make it to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, so that the user stories, which are big user stories, can get completed in 2.5 weeks, and then, or at least 2 weeks, and then we can ask testers to work on those stories. That is, I think, the wrong understanding is why they have implemented the Scrum on the first stage. So probably what you will be looking for is, what is the understanding of teams on the Scrum? So there are 2 ways on this one. One is you do like build your own Scrum, then you will understand. So you will do some activity and then you understand what it is and other stuff. Or second way to do is, if you follow all their events and other stuff, and then you feel that they need some training, teaching is required, then probably what you can do is you can deliver training, or you find out something very good training from YouTube and share it with them. Why I sometimes recommend training from the YouTube? Because when people they have half knowledge, right? What happens is they don't take it seriously. If a new Scrum Master provides training and tell them, oh, you are doing wrong, not on the face of it, but then also they say, okay, why you are teaching or training us again and again? We know all this. So rather than doing around less than 10 minutes of video from YouTube or from any other place, you get it and then show it to the team. So you will be able to make sure that, okay, this is what I expect the Scrum to be followed going forward. At the same time, second point is about the processes and tools as well. Even if they are following Microsoft Excel, that's fine. But if they are following some ALM tool, right, Jira or version 1 or Rally or any other stuff, we need to make sure that that tool works as a single source of truth. Everything should be available there in one place, and everybody should be, that should be a live document or live system where you get the real-time updates. So understand how it is being used. Everybody will have a different tools and other stuff, but as a Scrum Master, if you know one tool, other tools would be a cakewalk. I don't see that a big difficulty. And then understand the processes, what are the SLAs, what are the approvals required and other stuff, so that you don't look like a fool when you say, okay, this can be done in 2 days. We just raise a ticket and then get the approval and get these things done. That may not be possible. Also, initially you observe and then identify which areas where you are strong, and then there are low-hanging fruits. You can get some good results very quickly. So those you will have to identify and make sure. Something like a demo, right? When the sprint review or demo is happening. And then if team is not able to deliver what they have committed, just around 60-80%, right? There would be reasons for it. But if we just focus on that, okay, this is what we have completed and this is what we have not completed, doesn't make sense. As a Scrum Masters, when you go with a new team, you look for areas to appreciate the team members, the work they have done. Sprint review is something like to take pride on, okay, this is what we were able to complete. So if team is not able to complete X, Y, Z, then as a Scrum Master, if it is the reality that they worked hard, but because of some impediments, they were not able to complete for environment issues or for any other issues, and the genuine issues, you highlight it to stakeholders and others that this is what the team has done. They have spent extra hours but couldn't do because of XYZ reasons. But team, whatever they have done is the quality delivery in other aspects, then you will be able to build the trust and the respect of team very quickly. So look for these areas where you can show results. And then how do you maintain flow? See, if you are working for a new team is one thing. If there was already a Scrum Master and then now you are taking over, right? Then it becomes a complete different thing. And this is kind of a disruption. So, and many times it happens that the Scrum Master who has resigned, right? And because of notice period on whatever thing, that Scrum Master is not available when a new Scrum Master joins. Right? So there is no way the KT process would happen. And then when such things happen, right, the most important thing which gets impacted is flow. And as a Scrum Master, I would say if you really want to make a big impact, then the flow should be maintained. Flow is something like there should be enough work. Whatever the cycle is there, I see if everything is working fine, then you can think of improvements. But you are fixing the issues which should have been fixed earlier, which should be working. And if those are not in place, probably it becomes very difficult. So you have to make sure the flow is maintained. So work with the product owner and other steps. So the next step would be find out more about customer. So let me ask you, when I say more about customer, who is the customer for Scrum Master? You can unmute and speak, or you can type your message in chat window as well. Product owner.
Team.
So it's product owner.
BA or product owner.
BA, product owner, team.
Or the sponsors or the managers.
Yeah, all the stakeholders, right?
Yeah,
that's true. So that's what I was looking for the answer. Wonderfully, I think you all are right? Product owner, team, and organization, that is your customer. So why they become your customer? Because you serve them, right? You serve them, so they become your customer. So you have to focus on know your customer, right? At an organizational level, we already talk about what are the manager expectations are there, what kind of reports they expect. Now, when I say reports or metrics they expect, what I mean to say is we shouldn't be creating or we shouldn't be spending too much effort in creating manual reports, because when you create reports manually, right, it is something like it's not available all the time. So look for the automated reports. What are the tools which are being used and what the manager is expecting. If they have just 10 seconds to understand that, okay, what is the current status? You should be creating reports in such a way that, okay, you just highlight the blockers if everything is green. manager and stakeholders would be much more happy. Join and understand what is a community of practice, whether this agile center of excellence is there or Scrum Master community of practice is there. Join them, understand what are the organizational assets available to you, right? Now, obviously, when you work with the product owner, that's the key customer, right? Even you want to maintain flow, the product owner is required. So vision, mission, roadmap, and prioritization. Right? How the identifying or knowing about vision and mission and roadmap will help as a Scrum Master? What do you think?
To make a better plan.
Okay. So mostly the plan will be from product owner only. This is what we want to, right? And we will be probably executing that. But yeah, it certainly helps, even the dependencies and other aspects.
Help him to prioritize, help him to order.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I say product owner prioritization, I mean to say even you will help them understand how do you prioritize the requirements and other stuff.
Yeah.
You work very closely, very true, Guru Raj. Yeah. How the vision will help actually?
Vision will help to understand if the sprint goal is set correctly. So whether we are moving towards that vision.
Alignment, actually, Carl.
Yeah, alignment and then the where we are focusing on another stuff.
Product goal, if I would say.
Okay. Now all answers are right. And one more reason I think I want to put it here is, see, whenever the team works, right, they probably might not be aware that why we are doing what we are doing. So if they understand that, okay, who is my end customer and whatever we are working on, how it is going to help them, then their light bulbs will turn on, right? They will be able to provide some suggestions. Okay, this is the way it can be done. I think the customers, this will be much. So rather than being just having a one-way flow, there will be two-way flow. The team members also will be able to provide some suggestions to product owner. Oh, if this is what you are looking for, I think this is a better way to do this one. Let product owner decide. He is the person who is responsible, we say, right? A return on investment. But then we will be able to provide them suggestions. And that certainly the team will be able to connect with the product or service they are delivering. So that's very key. This is we want to understand as well. See, irrelevance, right? If the team is working on something and then they don't know that how it is related to customer and customers, then they will probably more focused on, okay, this is the input and this is the output. So I have to work on something on this one. They won't use their own brain and other stuff. So this is very, very critical that they understand why they are doing what they are doing. Right? The purpose, the Daniel Pink's, right? What motivates us? So autonomy, mastery, and purpose. The purpose is very clear why we are. So to knowing the customer as well, you should know the team structure, whether they are cross-functionals, whether they are self-dependent, or they are lacking some skills which they need to go out and the stuff. Skills metrics, how many years of experience, what is their skill level and other stuff, who are the SMEs, and what are their aspirations, right? What are the expectations? Nowadays, when I was discussing last week with in my company, we said, okay, this what we are expecting is we want the team to be long lived, right? We do not want to change the team structure too often. And that person told me that, yeah, we also know this one, but right now the market is very hot. If the team member says that, okay, I have worked for around 1.5 years in this domain, I need some change, so better move me somewhere else. And then we have to make sure that we complete their expectations. Otherwise, if they don't feel like spending too much time in one domain, probably they will move out. So you also need to understand, but that probably will take time. You have to do one-on-one and other stuff, and that's what my next topic is, right? What are the three activities to build trust? What you should be doing? So do personal one-on-one with video on. Like we say that the agile values, right? What are the agile Scrum values?
Individual and interaction over process and tools.
Yeah, those are the agile values. I'm saying Scrum values. There are 5 Scrum values.
Focus, openness,
Focus.
respect, courage, and commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So
That was really fast.
yeah, that was really fast, I think, Aparna. So courage is one of them, right? And when I say do personal one-on-one with video on, but if you look at it, this one is even today, let's play that game. Like who wants to be so courageous and turn the video on in this webinar or session? We are not going to pin you and put you on the presentations and other stuff. But what I mean to, or I want to highlight here is, and then I think Vijay, there is no charge, right? Extra charge for putting comments and then turning video on and others.
In fact, there would be certain
like,
rewards. There would be certain rewards if people show transparency. Yeah, thank you, Priya.
Yeah. So see, you will have to do some practice, right? It needs courage as well. But when we say, yeah, that's one of the Scrum values is courage. Courage is required at so many places, but you will be very easily able to connect on this one. And what I have seen when I do not with the team members, but other people as well, right? We have to set up some calls. And as soon as I turn the video on, the other person turns the video on as well. Something like they're just waiting for me to turn on the video, but they are also happy sharing this one. But it's about courage. Who will start first? And that I think that's where we are lacking probably. But I think this one is very much required because nowadays everything is happening remotely. So this is a key aspect. So you can ask different questions, but before you ask questions, right? If you want to build trust, then you will have to open up first, right? So before you ask any questions, then you have to answer, okay, this drives me, right? I really like to like the benefits of Scrum, and I really want my organization, my team to get a value delivery for customer with the best quality which they can provide. That's why I like this work, and that's why I log into my laptop every day. If you share something like this and then you ask, so you have to be like not a vulnerable, but yeah, you should share some secrets. What I have done when few agile coaches, this is not about the team members, right? I'm working as an agile coach right now, so there were new agile coaches as well join, or for all the Scrum masters. When I did the one-on-one, I had to ask who all are there in your family members, who all are your family members, your spouse, where she works, and how many children, what are their names, in which standard they are, and other stuff. What did you do on weekend, other stuff. Those are the questions you would ask. You won't believe, I had set up a meeting, I think last week only. And then there were 2 people and me, there were 3 people, 2 were Scrum masters and I was there. And then I had received one email from that lady that she is not available for 1 month. She is going on a core leave. Core leave for 1 full month. I was surprised. So we had just started the session and then I asked, hey, what you are going to do in 1 month? Do you have some plan and other stuff? And then she said that, okay, yeah, I'm going for a mountaineering course, basic mountaineering course, I think in the Uttarkasi or Uttarakhand for sure. And that is for 1 month. And then there was another Scrum Master. Yeah, I'm also very much interested in this one. Last time I went this one. And we discussed about 15 minutes on that topic only. But that was good. Now you become much more approachable when you do something like this. Let me share another example that nowadays everything remote, right? Otherwise people will come, hey, I need some work, and they will come to your desk and then talk and other stuff. And I noticed that one person whom I was helping him onboard to Scrum ways of working, he pinged me multiple times in a day, say quick call and other stuff. And then I said, yeah, that's my duty, right? I should be helping them and other stuff. And then even evening 5:36, he pinged me something and said, can you answer this one? And I said, yeah, sure, no issues and other stuff. And then we went on a call. And then the first thing he said that, hey, Rahul, you are very approachable. And then this is not just me saying, but all my team members are also saying that you are very approachable. That's why I'm asking you for all the helps, and every time I get the help. So that created a different perspective for me as well, that if I was thinking, hey, why he is asking, there are so other coaches as well, why he's asking me only, or why so many times. But he felt good that, okay, talking to me. If you have that relation, right, that's the way you build trust. You can also ask them, what one thing that drives you crazy, and do you love your job, right? We talk about the expectations. They would like to change the organization or the team or domain or different role. They would like to pick it up unless you talk to them. And when you talk to them, right, they will be very receptive to your feedback or your suggestions. Normally what happens, if Vijay say, okay, we go X way, and if I say, no, let's go Y way, and then there will be a gap. Now Vijay will say, no, X way is better, X, Y, Z reasons, and then I will give my reasons, but the gap will increase, right? It won't reduce, and then we probably won't come to a conclusion unless somebody having positional power, then it's a different thing. But you really want to, if I and Vijay, we both know each other, right? We already have informal discussions few times. Then probably when if I say that, okay, let's go X way, and then he will say, no, let's go Y way, and then we will have a different, the synergy between us, right? The emotions and everything will be different. So very important is you have to do one-on-one with video on, ask whatever questions. These are some sample questions I have put in. Second thing is, see, this one is about your relation with the team members. Another thing is, what about the relation between team members to each other, right? So when I say team building activities, you will find many activities where they will teach Scrum or Kanban and other stuff. But when I say team building activities, it's purely, and there may not be any outcome. One simple activity, let me tell you, which had all people smiling when we did this one. We created a group, two groups of 5 each, and then say, okay, list down 5 likes and 5 dislikes, which is common to your team, like sub team with 5 people. What you like about everybody likes, and then what you dislike. And then we gave 5 to 7 minutes, and then the discussions within the team which was happening was wonderful. We had a fun time. And you know what came first, what the team liked. In one of the team I was part of, they said, we like vada pav, the Indian burger. You know, all mostly many were there from Pune or Mumbai, and they said, we like vada pav. That's what we like. We like going to tapri for tea, small shop for going for tea. So the people, you get to know each other and then work together. So team building activities. The team also has to work as one team. That's very, and then the key to have a self-organized team is to people to know each other, right? Third one I would say is about creating a team charter. So create team agreement, how the team should work. People should respect each other's idea. So when we talk about the values, right, respect is one of the value, but when we put in the way that people will respect each other's idea, we will wait for other person to complete what they would like to say, and then only we will talk. We won't interrupt. Or people will respect each other by following the timings of the meeting, start the meeting on time, and the meeting on time. Something like you can talk about. So you will have different agreement, which the owner will be team itself. When you present this one, right, you have to clearly, explicitly highlight that Scrum Master won't be the owner for this one. It's the team. If somebody is not following, it's not the Scrum Master's responsibility to highlight, hey, you should come on time. The other team members should highlight that, okay, we have a team agreement that this is what should be followed at all time. There's something very interesting thing what I have observed is, you ask them what they would like to be known for. So any team you're working with, right? So you ask them, okay, say our team is there. We can give some name to our team as well. And to our department, to organization, how you want your team to be known for? When I say something like this one is, they have a topmost quality. It's very difficult to find defects in their delivery or commitment. They always deliver more than 90% of committed stories. Or the most innovative team, a creative team, or the team which implements all the action items identified in the retrospective. But if you put it this one, right? And then let team decide, that would do wonders. Team values, the definition of done, definition of ready, and other stuff, that also certainly would work out well. Vijay, do you or anybody else would like to add anything on this one about activities to build trust and other stuff?
This is great.
I would like others to add in.
Hey Rahul, Ankush here.
Yeah.
Hi. So what I strongly believe in, whenever we basically, generally as a coach or as a a Scrum Master sort of for the team, I generally go and talk to them during retrospective, especially. So guys, today we want to do a retrospective today. So let's be open about our findings or our observations during our last sprint. And this is a fact-finding exercise, guys. This is not a fault-finding exercise. This is the one statement I like the most. And it creates that environment of trust within the team where team talks about their gaps or whatever they've seen that could have been done better, etc. They talk more freely because now they know this is not anymore a fault-finding exercise. What we are trying to do is trying to figure out facts and work out how better we can do in the next sprint or the upcoming sprint. And that sets the right tone in front of team, and they open up and talk about things very openly in a very collaborative manner, and a problem that they want to make their own and may basically solve them entirely for their own team in the upcoming sprint. That's how, I like it.
Yeah, wonderful.
One point, Rahul, is take the responsibility as a Scrum Master for failures also. So it is not just blaming the team. It is an overall team failure or a team's achievement, right?
Yeah.
I just want to extend the whatever both have said, that the implementation of the fact finding also be done. Otherwise, the team loses the trust in between. They said we give the feedback freely, but there are nothing is happening on that. Nothing is what we can say.
Actions are not taken. Nothing
Yes,
happens
exactly.
But
So,
Prasad, Ankush here, see, at the end of the day, right, it's a team who is responsible to take action, isn't it? So whatever we are documenting for team to improve on, and individuals within the team should take responsibility. So that's how we need to ensure that everybody takes that ownership and tell them that this is the problem that we as a team are facing, and therefore it is our own problem. Nobody else is going to come and solve it for us. So we need to be accountable as a team as well, right?
True.
Yeah, so a Scrum Master should facilitate that, okay, whatever he should keep an eye on, whatever the top action items we have identified and decided, okay, this is what we would like to implement. So certainly can be the at least facilitator for those items and make sure that can be completed. But very valid point for Prasad, Satya, and Ankush. Thank you very much. Let's move on. So the Scrum Master key, Scrum Master activities, I think we know, right? As a Scrum Master, what all we should be doing. But 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. What does that mean? Anybody would like to guess anything?
Listen more, observe more, and speak less.
Wonderful, Navneet. Yeah. You listen double, then you speak. You observe double, then you speak. Wonderful. That should be the key, right? So you have to read between the lines or listen to unspoken words. The most important thing is about active listening. One skill I believe I have is active listening. People do talk to me for not I won't say hours, but they do share so many things with me. I understand that I give them the option or chance to speak, and that really works well. Even without not speaking, that builds trust. I get the respect, so people share with me. Build culture of appreciation. I highlighted one point about the demo, experiment, and then collective effort. So rather than focusing on just one person and then the one person will be doing everything, build a culture of doing it together. Team word itself says that together everybody achieves more. Right? That's what we should be focusing on and other stuff. So whatever you certainly, even if you have to start noticing if somebody gives update very crisp in the daily stand-up or daily scrum, right? You can encourage them. If somebody is not providing proper update, you talk to them later on, then tell them that or coach them that how you can provide better updates, right? So different stances of a scrum master as well. It can be a consultant sometimes, or a coach, or mentor, trainer, so many things. I think probably we will do another session on different stances of a scrum master. But right now there are around 2-3 slides. Let me focus on them. So even if the scrum team is already there and then you are joining as a scrum master, then you have one very important data points available to you. That is the historical data. What was their velocity, last few sprints velocity, or retrospective data, how the user stories have been written, what is the percentage of technical user stories and the functional user stories, what is the cycle time, especially for the bugs, whether the bugs are being fixed as soon as they are logged or they work on the user stories, what is the user stories which are spill over to the next sprint. And then you also probably, if the data is not available, you have to just hypothetically you will have to make sure okay it might be this way, and then validate with talking to product owner, leads, or the team members. How is the quality, what is the rework they are doing, and even also you have to look for the overtime, whether they are working on weekends and other stuff. The first question somebody would say that okay, but there are no retrospective happenings, or retrospectives are not happening frequently. That's very useful point, right? That either they are so much busy that they are not able to spend time for the retrospective, or the management is not in favor of spending time for the retrospective. That's why, or he is not interested, he is not looking for data, he is not asking for the data, or the retrospectives are not, as somebody was saying, that it is not giving any meaningful results. That's why the retrospectives are stopped. Or retrospectives are not happening frequently because the understanding of the team is not correct. Like I think what Anku said, right? More focus on the fault finding, and proper say, okay, I think it's better we don't do the retrospective. Anyway, nobody is happy after coming out of retrospective. So why should we focus on the retrospective as well? Right. Okay, the last point I wanted to highlight was about
Rahul,
how do you
please.
measure your progress? Yes, Satya, do
Hi
you want to
Rahul,
say?
sorry, one more thing we can I think include here, that how frequent the changes are coming from the customer, like how soon how frequent changes we are getting within a sprint. That data also needed for the Scrum Master, I guess.
Yeah, wonderful, Sudip. Yeah, in the user stories, how it is written, what is the changes being requested in between the sprint, or whatever the user stories which are completed and those are changed. Very good point. Yeah. that has to be considered.
Rahul, I would like to add one more metrics or maybe something that we could look for is the value being delivered. So maybe that is the most important thing, that data which we could look as well.
Yeah, there's so many, like what is their release frequency, what is their, whatever data is available. The purpose, Gururaj, your point is very valid. Just I wanted to highlight is the history. There is a lot of data already available to you to start with. If you just try to reinvent the wheel, it won't work when you already have so many things available to you. Many of them will be available from the tools directly. Once you get the access, you will be able to get it, right? If they say, oh, the tool has a different data and then what we have in the Excel is different, then the Excel is the correct one, then also you get some points, right? That how it is being handled, how the team works.
So Rahul, my point was about important point is team satisfaction. So team satisfaction also includes the overall development team or the Scrum team, or it could be the product owner, or it could be the direct customer. So what value we are able to deliver. So I feel the satisfaction is also of an important status that needs to be reviewed.
Yes, wonderful. Happiness metrics and other stuff. Good point, Satya. And then about the progress, right? So how you will be able to say you are doing a good job? So it drills down to the first point, right? What the first three things you will be doing. So you capture the metrics based on what? Based on your observations, your key strengths you can focus on, and your discussions with the manager at first point, why you have been hired, what are your key result activities. So when you start as well, right, you have to baseline those metrics, whatever data you can collect, so that after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, right, when you again, so you shouldn't be judging the data after getting the data and comparing after 1 month, because there is a J curve. The team performance may go down if it's a new team. But this data certainly would help, right? How you are progressing. It's a retrospective for you as a Scrum Master. And this is what I was expected to do. I have to improve on these aspects and where I stand right now. And this has to be done when you join, right? It cannot be after a couple of months and then you do, and then you lose out on the delta progress which you have made and other stuff. And when I say that earlier, that you identify your key result areas, right? Work with your manager. So that will happen initially, as well as it can happen multiple times, right? You can do it every quarter, because today's world is a dynamic world. Things change so fast. So why not take that opportunity to talk to your manager? Okay, this is what was the key result areas last time, and this is what progress we have made. This is the baseline metrics and then the current data. And now should I continue in the same, or there are some changes in the direction and other stuff I should be focusing on? That certainly would work like wonder. So that this is one of the key aspect, right? As a Scrum Master, how do I know I'm doing good or bad?
It should be... want to add one or two point also.
Azhar here.
Yes, Satya.
Yeah, sorry Satya to interrupt. Yeah, so Rahul, I just wanted to ask about one approach. So for example, if a Scrum Master joins a new organization and he has an approach like I do consider that the historical data is very important. But what if like a Scrum Master approaches his team with all new things, keeping the historical data aligned, like not just continuing from where the previous Scrum Master has left and starting with a completely new approach?
That's perfectly fine, right? Even if you go from that perspective, see the point of getting or looking at the historical data, it will tell you so many things, like what is the team culture, what is the role of, whether based on the user stories and value delivers, or how frequently you are delivering, or what is the changes happening in between the sprint or for the user stories, cycle time. So many things will be available to you, right? So that those are the very important data points you should be considering, irrespective of whether you will be measuring them or not.
See, the reason could be also is they might have done something different after onboarded. So there could be some specific reason why the old data was not used. Maybe they might have changed the overall team structure. Maybe they moved into different methodology. So need to know the real reasons, and there should be some reason why he is trying to ignore the old data, right?
Yep, thanks, Satya.
See, yeah. So other point which I actually wanted to add was for Scrum Masters, right? How he is able to resolve the impediments. So basically, for example, what kind of the challenges the team was having. So for example, I used to see sometimes in the Scrum teams, a lot of teams used to deliver most of the stories at the end of the day. The main reason could be the stories are getting stuck at a review phase. So how he is able to improve the flow of delivery, right? Or there could be some bottlenecks in a certain area or with a certain people or a certain skill. So that is where he would need to really focus upon help the teams to mature, and how he effectively is solving the team's problems. So that could be a key measure as an Scrum Master that the team he should keep on focusing on.
Yeah. The first focus of Scrum Master should be, rather than implementing new ideas, the Scrum Master should approach the team as, we are here, or I'm here to fix your problems. So tell me your problems. What are the problems? What is stopping you from performing your best, or achieving your best, or delivering your best? And probably that is the way to go for. Very true, Satya. So let me summarize. First and foremost, believe and act with agile values and principles, right? If you are stuck up, then also the first thing you should be doing is look at the agile values and principles. You should be able to get the answers there, right? Identify what are the key result areas. We already have talked multiple times about this one, and the focus has to be on the team, right? Though we are saying that the organization or stakeholders and everything that is there, but the major portion would be on the team, right? If the team is self-organized and then they are able to do most of the things on their own, probably as a Scrum Master, you will be able to focus on something else as well, and let team prosper on this one. And as a Scrum Master, if we are not doing inspect and adapt and learning, that is not going to work. So do your own retrospective, you do whatever the key results areas, how you are performing every sprint, and that as a Scrum Master, you also will need to do. And learning, we cannot stop learning. And, Scrum Master would learn something new, will apply, and then again inspect and adapt. That would be the cycle, and that has to be there. And if you are stuck somewhere, nothing wrong in asking for help. That's very simple thing to do. So there are so many communities available online as well. There are so many people, even I'm available on the LinkedIn. You can ask for any help, what you need and other stuff, and ask for feedback, right? How you are doing it. I already shared that, right? Every quarter you can go to your manager and share, okay, this is the key result area and this is how I have performed, and what next, and any feedback for me. So if you have a very good relations, you have built the relation, you can get the feedback from the team members as well. And that has to be there. So I know that 1 hour is not enough for this topic, but these are some of the pointers, and there are many other things you certainly can do. But this is what works for me as a Scrum Master.